My name's Desmond Torrimer. I come from New Zealand. I've been in Australia since 2008, and yeah, we joined up with WT Capital about 2 years ago, and at the moment we've got 2 properties in our self-managed super fund, as well as another investment that we've recently got involved in that's looking really beneficial. A friend of mine contacted us and just told us about an opportunity and about maybe asked us a few questions about what we were doing in terms of investment and how we could use our self-managed fund. I also had a cousin of mine that had also heard about this earlier, and it just happened to be that we had a conversation. He lives 600 kilometres away from me, and we had a conversation, and that conversation just got the fires burning to say, look, we can do a bit more than what we're doing now with our super fund. And yeah, that just enabled us to dig a bit deeper with WT Capital. When first contacting WT Capital, I think there's always concerns. We were nervous because it's our money and it's our retirement fund, and that's something you don't want to gamble with. And also, it wasn't just my own money that we were looking at. We actually looked at both my wife and I doing an investment, and then it ended up being 2 cousins plus my wife and I doing an investment together. And so obviously it's not only your own money but others that you need to be considerate of. And yeah, we were nervous. We had a lot of questions. We had to do our own research, but what we found with WT Capital is that they had an answer for almost every question we had, and if they didn't have an answer right away, they were able to go and get the right answers from the professionals. And for us, that was really good. It, I guess, built a foundation of trust, and from there, we were pretty confident on actually just taking those next steps. I'd only been in the country working probably for about 6 years, because I went back to New Zealand during that 2008 to the current period for about 18 months, almost 2 years. And so I didn't have I missed that gap in terms of super contributions during that period. So I didn't have a lot in there, and then I'm not a young chicken, and you know, retirement is something we are looking forward to, but I did realise when this opportunity came about that I'm not too far away from it, a decade or so, but I realised I probably didn't have enough ready in my super here. So my wife and I spoke, we spoke to my cousins, and then we spoke to WT Capital, who actually told us that we could actually combine that. So what happened is that both my wife and I could have got a single property pretty much straight away once we converted to our self-managed fund. But with the power of all of us actually combining our super, we were able to move pretty quickly on 2 properties. And we actually did have a third lined up almost straight away, but we decided to probably go a bit more expensive on our second property as opposed to getting 2 lower price properties. And that just meant that we had 2 with a bit of money left in our bank. We make some shared decisions. We actually had a lot of group learning. I was able to learn from a cousin of mine that actually has a few investments in place, and he's been able to get views from us that he has also has considered as pretty valuable. So I think you get a lot of group thinking out of that. You get a lot of value out of actually a wider view, different perspectives, and different knowledge, which honestly really helps. Honestly, we were really afraid or nervous around how does this all happen. There's a lot of technical terms, there's a lot of legal jargon, and for us, WT Capital just made it easy. They really did. They made it simple, they made it easy. When we had questions, they answered straight away. When we had any issues arise, they were there to sort it out. When we had queries about markets, they were able to go and do the work and be able to provide some feedback, and we were able to quantify that and qualify it. So for us, look, it was an easy process, a lot easier than I thought it would be. There's still a lot of paper to sign, there's still a lot of documentation to do. You deal with your lawyers, you deal with your accountants, but dealing with WT Capital actually made that all really awesome and really easy and really simple. So for us, I don't think we would have been able to get to where we are without the help of WT Capital. I've had a great experience with it. My wife has, and my cousins who we've gone in with as a partnership in our trust have all had great experiences with it. Like I said earlier, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a property investor, that's not my background. But with their help, we've been able to get into 2 great properties. We've been able to really see that putting our own super to work has been more beneficial to us because we've got power over that. So I would tell you, go and find out about them and make sure that you do your homework. But from my point of view, it's just been a great experience for us. We're going to be using them going forward on all our other properties and investments, and we really value their advice. And probably more so out of that, we've built a really strong relationship of trust.